Nick, nice to have you here.
Ollie, it's good to see you. It's good to be here on this beautiful sunny day in Frankfurt.
Beautiful rainy day in Frankfurt.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So just tell me, so what is shredding?
Shredding is really fun.
Shredding is fun. Shredding is playing what you have practiced before.
Is an expression of something,
Yeah.
of excitement and a lack of wanting to grow up.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. It's just it's a culmination of a lot of time spent playing in your bedroom, listening to certain guitar players, having something exciting to say. Ideally, it should be a contrast to something a little more soulful and tasteful, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you just want to play fast
Yes.
for the sake
Yeah.
of playing fast.
But building up, I mean, all the chops, it's pretty important, is it? I mean,
It doesn't hurt. It certainly doesn't hurt. And instrumental music where you're relying on those abilities, it's definitely not a detriment. It's a good thing. Yeah.
but you are a guitar virtuoso guy.
Oh.
You are.
I don't know. That's a strong word. That's a very strong word.
So you don't want to be.
I don't know if I'm there yet, but
Yes.
we're working on it. We're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I heard your clinic before, and you got all the chops and all the arpeggios, sweeping, hell of a kind of stuff. Really.
Thank you very much, Ollie. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So, how important is the gear to you? So what do you say about that?
Very good question. Yeah, I mean, the main thing is having a guitar. For me, this is kind of a weird thing to say, but for me, the most important thing is having a guitar that you don't realize you're playing. You don't want to think about playing guitar when you're playing guitar, because then you're thinking about playing guitar. Figure that one out. You want to just be performing. You want whatever's immediately in your head to come out without any resistance. And overthinking and worrying and being stressed, you want a guitar that has your back, as we would say. And of course, the amp. You want the amp to be a conduit to what you hear. If the amp sounds good and you have a good tone and you're comfortable with the amp, you're going to be more relaxed. You're going to feel like you can pull more stuff off. And sometimes in a clinic situation, it's really, really exciting to try something new and not have a worry that this is all going to go to shit.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, very important, extremely important, and it should be. I worry about the hard, kind of like the wider details. I don't worry about the fine, like I don't worry about what tubes I'm using. As long as they're working, I don't worry about what kind of battery I have in my pedal. Like certain players,
Like Eric Johnson.
I don't know what you're talking about, but just like the wider scope stuff, I think about, like the guitar strings, the pickups, the guitar, and the amp, and of course my outfit, very important. Have to be. Fashion is so important.
And long hair is important.
Yeah. So those things, those are definitely the key plot points to my guitar playing. Yeah.
Okay. So Schecter is an American brand from in the 70s, founded in the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s they started it. Yeah.
And you play custom shop guitar here.
I do, yes. This is a model they were kind enough to bequeath to me. It's a custom shop model built in Sun Valley. And I've been working with Schecter for a few years now, and I had a silver model with them. Now it has magically transformed into an atomic green guitar with a wenge neck and an ebony fretboard and some signature pickups they made. The boxes around here somewhere.
Oh, the very nice boxes here. Yeah.
Placement.
The Atomics.
The Atomics, yes. Yeah, and we've got a great relationship. We've been doing all sorts of clinic tours, and I've been taking this stuff all over the world. And it's a workhorse of a guitar. I don't really have to worry about anything. It's a magical weapon of mass destruction. So I love it.
Absolutely. So we have a different one here.
That was the first model.
So we showed that one on the channel before.
Yeah, that
So
was
the silver gray.
Yeah, that was the
And with a maple neck.
maple neck.
And yours are a little bit different now with a wenge.
That's right. Wenge. How do you say it again, sir?
Wenge.
Wenge. Wenge.
Wenge sounds very German.
Yes, it does. Whereas wenge sounds Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian. Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. So this neck, it's kind of got that porous thing going on here. You can see the wood grain really well, and I mean your hands are full, but you can't touch it. But since it's unfinished, my disgusting hand oils have managed to make this neck feel extremely smooth. If you want to, as you can tell.
Wow.
It's quite nice.
It's
I got a wow from Olli, so I must be doing something right.
so it's almost oily, is it?
Yes, yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really, I'm not one of those guitar players that hears a lot of difference with tone woods. I just don't know if I have that ability. So this was actually a visual thing. I think this looks incredible and it feels really good.
Yeah.
I think it sounds pretty good too. But for me, the main thing was like the look. It looks like a custom shop guitar, and that was kind of the difference between the silver model. The silver model looked more of like a traditional model. This looks like a custom one.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Okay. So how do you handle the noise with the pickups here at high gain?
I've kind of learned. I've learned how to, when I finish a phrase or when I start a phrase, I'm out of phase. See that rhymed?
Wonderful.
That rhymed, right?
Yeah.
And then when I finish something, like I'll be playing if I want something on the neck position, then just
Yeah.
so, or just quickly roll it back. Much like watching someone like Yngwie over the years, or Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, but Yngwie uses like
I know,
those
but he's
humbucker.
still
He's
noisy
so
as
fast
hell.
with the volume knob.
Yeah, it's like whoop. It's like a sleight of hand thing. Yeah,
It's like automatically.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so you're more into vintage pickups.
Yeah. These are it's like a lower output middle neck and a slightly higher output bridge.
That's my taste. Yeah, a little bit calibrated.
So it kind of blooms when you switch the back pickup.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is kind of more of the thing I was after. And I worked on these with John Gadesi at the custom shop. He's an amazing kind of tone wizard, and we basically built these from the ground up. So they turned out. I think they turned out really great, and I've been using them on everything. Fantastic. Yeah.
So you enjoyed the work with
Certainly
Schecter.
do, yeah.
Yeah,
We're
nice
all
guys.
One big family. Oh, they're amazing. It's a big company, but it's a small group of people.
Yeah.
You know, I text the president, like, "Hey, can we do this?" And he's like, "No." Or he'll say, "Yeah, sure."
Or maybe a good idea in the future.
Can we try this? I mean, my point being that it's small enough where I can talk to the guys who make all the decisions, and that's very rare, and it's very exciting. And you know, over the last few years, we've developed a nice relationship. So.
I mean, they do different guitars, so this is a custom shop, but they do the Diamond series as well.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a Diamond series. It should be out pretty soon. It's going to be the silver one, and it'll be at a much lower price point. So most people who would want one of these guitars could get their hands on one. Yeah.
Okay. So you play Mesa Boogie here.
Yeah.
What amp did you play before the Mesa Boogie?
I was playing a Friedman amp. I was playing a Fender amp. I had a Victory amp for a bit.
How did you get the gain from the Fender?
Yeah, it was a Hot Rod amp, so I kind of used that, the Hot Rod Deluxe amp.
The Hot Rod Deluxe amp from Mexico?
Yeah, I was using that
You
one.
like it?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I know. I love
Is it
it.
kind of muddy, is it?
Yeah, I kind of got used to it. I actually, for a while, I was using was it the Bassman? I think I was using for a bit, which was really cool. And then I was using the Free.
How did you get the gain from that one,
I
man?
don't know. It kind of.
With your fingers.
I guess you just hit it really hard. And then I had a Friedman amp for a while, which was awesome. That's
sure,
kind of like
absolutely,
a
yeah.
Plexi kind of vibe amp, killer stuff. And then I started using this Triple Crown, which it's really got a smooth distortion. It's almost like a distortion you wouldn't be afraid to play in church or something. You know, it's a really musical distortion.
Have you been a Boogie fan before? The TC50?
You know what? They used to scare the crap out of me. Boogie amps used to scare, because the reason being because of how sensitive the parameters are. If you change one thing, a lot of times you have to go back and change everything.
Sinking into the mud.
Yeah, so it used to scare me. But you know, I had a friend that turned me onto them, and I was like, holy crap, what are these? And then this amp, this is kind of like more of a modern Mesa Boogie
Right, yeah.
amp, and I really like the second channel. It's not crazy overdriven, but it's enough for what I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like it.
Okay, so we had Matthew here from UK, and he said, Ollie, I know you don't like Boogie, and I know you love Marshall, so I have your amp here. And he introduced the TC50 to me, and I said, okay, that's a good way Boogie is going.
Yeah, I think it's
Because
great.
you get all that crunchy mid-range rock and roll stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
big step forward for that modern sound.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So this is a huge step into modern rock.
Yes, exactly. So I've been enjoying that, and straight into the amp with a little bit of sweetener from MXR. I have this delay pedal and a little bit of reverb.
And of course, the red one is your favorite. So with a tight bottom. But you played the basement before. You said you played the basement.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So I like the second channel, which is broken up, and then for some of the more intense parts, I switched to the high gain channel. And even the high gain, it's not that, like, it's not super high gain, like crazy high gain. It's enough. You can still control it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So
I mean, as you are a guitar player, all that do that instrumental stuff, what would you say to a young guitar player? What is very important? Learn all the scales, all the
that stuff's all
the arpeggios,
that
the
stuff's
chord
all been
shapes, the
said.
intervals.
I mean, whatever. I mean, that stuff's. You don't need me to tell you that. The main thing you need to do is you need to go outside and experience life and play with people and play in front of people and bomb. That's weird advice. You need to bomb on stage a lot to become a better guitar player, because you start to reprioritize things. You start to think about your playing. What do I need? What should I be working on? If I want to be a musician, is it enough to just put the Instagram video up anymore?
Yeah.
Like, is that, I mean, that is a lot. You can do a lot with that. But
Yeah.
to really develop as a player, you need to play in front
Yeah,
of
sure.
people and interact. So my advice is write music and then go and play it in front of people. That's, that changed me, everything.
Yeah. So you gave a masterclass before, and what I was wondering, there was nobody asking about vibrato or tone.
Yeah, nobody asked
Why?
about that. I'm a little...
Because you have a very wide and slow vibrato.
Oh, thank you
yeah.
very much.
No,
That's a
nobody was
massive
mentioned.
compliment.
Nobody noticed that. Why? They're all into.
I think they're
learning
into,
from
yeah,
YouTube.
They're into. Maybe it's because I remember when I first started recording myself and listening back to my vibrato, I was horrified. I was stupefied and sickened by how Billy Goat.
Agree.
Yeah, so I had
Totally.
that. Maybe that's something. Like, are people doing that? Are they listening back? Are they being honest with themselves? Are they putting technique first? Are they listening to other guitar players that they wouldn't normally listen to? If you listen to a Shredder guy that you really like and you love all of his stuff, sometimes he doesn't. Maybe that particular guitar player won't do things that you need to hear. Like I heard when Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jeff Beck, or how Eddie Van Halen would attack a note in the middle of a pretty intense solo. It was like eye-opening. Like, holy crap, you can still find time to do these.
And it's not the lick; it's the tone.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's really important, is to broaden your horizons of what you're listening to. Maybe you will never hear that if you don't.
But some guys are not horrified by themselves. I don't know.
Some don't. Yeah.
So this is interesting, is it?
This is very.
When you hear like goatee vibrato, and you say, "Hey, what about your ears?"
Yeah, I've had students who don't hear that either, and it's kind of a weird thing. I don't know. Maybe they're just not ready to hear it yet. They're not there yet.
I don't know.
Like I kind of equate it to when I was listening to rock music before I played guitar, or when I first started playing guitar. I was not listening to instrumental music. My dad showed me Flying in a Blue Dream, and I didn't get it. I was like, why would I ever do that? Like,
there's no vocals.
What is this? And then ironically, here we are. But I just wasn't ready for it. And then when I started listening to guitar, maybe I'd listen to like alternative rock, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. If I had heard Yngwie at that moment, I wouldn't have been ready for it. So maybe it's the same thing. Maybe just your ear isn't quite there to understand that your vibrato is.
I don't know.
uneven
Yeah,
and shit.
maybe.
I don't know. Who knows? Who really knows?
So we had the customer here play the riff of Enter Sandman. Do 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 do, and he did such a fine vibrato on the last note. Do, a very good vibrato, and it's not on the original.
It's not at all.
Oh, not at all. And I was asking like, hey, why did you vibrate on that note?
Like a Pantera.
And he said,
thing or something.
yeah, right. And he said, oh, it sounds good.
There you
What
go.
are you asking?
There you go. Why
was
not? Yeah.
So cool, is it?
Sounds good. It's
very good.
And that's one of the few things that makes a guitar is the ability to stretch a note and to put some grease on it.
Yeah.
So that's guitar.
So what I saw, you practice your vibrato all the time. You're talking while at the same time you did the vibrato.
It's like actually it's funny. It's the first thing I do a lot of times. I pick up a guitar is just see how comfortable that feels.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it really is an addictive kind of thing, and I couldn't imagine not doing it. So yeah.
Do you practice differently, or sitting or standing?
Always standing. Yeah.
Always standing?
Yeah. Always.
Really?
Yeah. I've.
So even at night at the computer?
I never practice in front of the computer. I never do any stuff on the computer, so I don't.
Like on the TV? So when you're looking...
No, don't do that either. No, I practice.
So no
for
TV
the sake
exercise?
of- No TV exercise. I play guitar with the intent of being focused, just like trying to improve and imagine playing in front of people and standing up and playing, which has kind of always been a thing I didn't have the internet for a long time when I was a kid. Like I didn't get it until later on in life, so I never had that learn a tab or watch a video kind of thing. It was more like just play play the guitar. And it's funny too, after I do like a clinic tour or go and do a tour, go home and practice in the studio or at home, it's really, really boring. It's not alive. There's no energy. So just to kind of get a taste of that, I have to be playing like I'm performing, you know.
Okay, so you're standing all the time?
All the time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Until I get a bad back, then I'm going to be sitting all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we have the Schecter guitar, we have him as a Boogie amp here,
I'm using the D'Addario.
and we have you as a shredder virtuoso. Nick Johnston here. Okay.
I'm Nick V. Johnston.
Yeah.
No, I'm using D'Addario NYXL balance tension 10 strings on here. I was using D'Addario just 10s for
With
a
a
long
very, very, very low action.
Yeah, this action's pretty low.
So we talked about before, you have a very straight neck, it's absolutely my taste, and very, very low action.
Yeah, I do a lot of the hammer on and pull off
Yeah.
kind of stuff, so I kind of need that, or else my hands will just. I had some hand troubles in the past, and I do everything in my power to avoid that again. In fact, I even tuned down to E flat, so I get a little bit more slinkiness
To get all the English stuff.
to get all the English. So yeah, that's what I'm all about.
Cool. Nick, thank you for being here, man.
I'll shake this hand because it's available. Thanks, Ollie.